Good evening. The Town of Cromwell Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting of Tuesday, May 5th. I'm calling to order. Alice Kelly, Chair.
Mike Canada.
Andrew Holt.
John Comtois, alternate.
Ann Grasso.
Rich Nordman.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to have a motion to seat the Jonathan as alternate.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I'd like to have, Town Planner, there is some additions to the agenda.
I have two additions to number 8, new business accept and schedule new applications. Do I read them now?
Yeah.
Okay. The first would be application 26-16, application for a special permit for the sale of alcoholic beverages at 77 Berlin Road. That will be scheduled for a public hearing at the regular meeting of June 2nd, 2026. The second item under new business is the release of an E&S bond, number 1929, in the amount of $8,491.73 for 70 County Line Drive.
Is there interest on that, Andrew? Should be plus interest usually.
I do not believe I have any
Well, we can put-
information
we can
on
put
that.
I'll say plus interest if applicable.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to accept the agenda as amended.
Second, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay. Public comments? Moving on.
I thought we may have a developer come in and speak with us tonight, but he's not here. So we'll be moving on, it looks like, unless they come back in.
If they come later, we can adjust.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Development,
So I gave Bruce the night off tonight again. He's busy and he's worked hard all these years before I got here. So anyway, he's got the night off. We had a light agenda. I thought it was appropriate, and he'll come back on 2 weeks from now with a report for us.
okay, do you have anything?
Yeah, so a few things from me. Commissioner Grasso asked that I share some of the new businesses in town. I think that was a prior thing that Stuart Popper did. So I'm going to take a shot at that tonight. These businesses are in various phases. Some of them may just be kind of word of mouth that they're coming. They're working with either the zoning officer and or the health department, but they may not have plans. So again, these are all in various stages. The first is Taste of Zion. That's at 544 Main Street. I believe they are opening, they may have opened just the other day, on May 1st. That was the word from the health department. So Zion, Xian. I believe it's Chinese food.
Now, is that up where, what was the address again?
544 Main Street.
So I think that's where China Dragon used to be.
Oh,
It's in is it a plaza? Or-
It's
okay.
in a two-story building, right next to the bar. What's the name of the bar? Hideaway.
Okay.
oh, right.
Which used to be Bruce's, which used to be Nostalgia.
So they're a little bit further along than the other ones I'm listing tonight, and I believe they may be open. The second would be Wings at Cromwell. That's 34 Shunpike Road, Unit 34. They don't have a plan in yet, but they are working towards a plan, I guess.
And it's
These
Wings?
are all businesses that are,
Yeah.
again, working with staff.
Yeah.
So it's possible they may not come to fruition, but just kind of for your knowledge of things that
Where's
are
34 Shunpike?
coming up. 34 Shunpike Road, unit number 34.
That's where the UPS store is, that old
Oh, okay, so it's in that plaza,
plaza.
okay.
Right.
I don't know.
I'm not sure which unit specifically it's taking this place of. Not sure.
Yeah, I know the Japanese place, the sushi place, that's been closed for a long time,
It could be that one then.
so it's,
I think that was the only spot that was open.
That's where my head is.
Yeah.
Although there, Habitat had a presence there.
I think they moved in in the corner where the
Right.
store is. So Habitat's office area, I believe, is empty now.
And that's my point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, I just drove by there a couple days ago and I was surprised to see that it gone.
right.
They're out of there. But they're over in the corner where the store
Well,
is.
they've been gone out of there for a long time, they just haven't taken their stuff out.
There you go, okay.
They've been gone for at least 2 years.
What?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Work Habitat?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Oh, I work with Tracy Chumack, so I know.
Oh,
So they're out of that office?
They have been out of that office for a long time.
Oh, okay.
oh, okay.
Yep. So Wings at Cromwell, more to come on that, hopefully. Burrito Bandito, very appropriate for Cinco de Mayo. One Kirby Road, still kind of unknown about their plans, but they are working towards something. Again, that was One Kirby Road, Burrito Bandito. Bot and Brew, 328 Main Street. They are pulling permits. That is a coffee shop that is essentially has machines, coffee machines that make all
What's it
different
called?
types of coffees or cappuccinos or
Bot
whatever.
and brew?
Bot and Brew. So it's like a robot.
Okay.
New concept.
One of those in Boston this week.
Yeah.
It's like a whole pod.
Right. I've used one and it can do all these different flavors
So
and
three
they're-
twenty-eight is kinda like down the center.
It's the blue place, it's where the tattoo place used to be.
Okay,
Oh, good, we got rid of the
All right.
tattoos.
So they have the
Now we bring
beans
in
in
the
there,
robots.
they grind it up and
Yeah.
it gets to some very high temperature and it's able to produce coffee, I think, in, like a minute.
seconds, yeah.
Yeah, like I think 60 seconds, so.
Yep.
Very interesting concept there. Who knows? We may see more of that in the future. Willoughby's Coffee and Tea, that is 35 Berlin Road. I believe it's right next to Jefferson Fry. That's still unknown, but apparently they are working towards something. And that's all that I have for new businesses tonight.
So one of the things I heard was that,
Do you have your mic on?
sorry, the Doggy Bakery and Country Store on Main Street, that she's closing the country store, so sometimes hearing what is closing as well is helpful, and Morgan Nicole did close.
Okay.
And so that's two things right in the
Right
Cromwell
by
downtown.
Mitchell's.
Right, and it's a shame because we did just do a tour of the doggy place with the state of Connecticut last week in exploring the new cultural district, and it's very well received. It's good to see businesses like that in downtown Cromwell, and certainly we don't want to lose those type of businesses. I did just hear that today. I don't know if it's a rumor, whether she was leaving or not. You may know better than I do.
They posted publicly on Facebook
okay.
that they were.
I just kind of heard
But
it.
she
I didn't know
said
if it
she
was a
was
rumor or
keeping
not.
her doggy bakery as far as retail is concerned.
Okay.
So, I don't know whether or not she's gonna stay in that location just for that part of it. And
Isn't there another one up on Shunpike?
Yeah,
Is that her as
exactly.
well? Yeah.
So I don't know what it's expensive on the Main Street.
Yeah. And if there's anything we can do from staff perspective, we certainly are willing and to help. But yeah, I will keep my eyes and ears open. I haven't heard of any other businesses closing that I can think of at the moment. So, but I'll keep that in mind. Maybe that's going to be part of my report going forward. Closed businesses as well.
Okay.
The other thing I wanted to mention is I did send out an article today on behalf of a commission member, and I did get feedback that somebody felt it was potentially political. And so I'm just going to make the policy that we put a disclaimer on that. I think maybe in the past you guys had gotten articles from Stuart. My previous policy was not to send things out like that, just to be neutral, stay safe. And I think I'm just going to implement that policy again. I don't want to be in the position of trying to determine what's political or not and what should be shared or not. Yeah, I didn't write it, and I do feel it's an opinion piece, and we're all adults and wise enough to make our own decisions, look at different sources. But I just don't want to be obviously in that position of trying to be the referee or the football or whatever. But there will be times that I guess I, as staff, are going to share things that I think is factual. I'm going to try and stay away from anything that I feel like is an opinion. There may be some time where it comes to the point where it has some opinion, and I may share it with you with a disclaimer as the staff member.
Will we still get stuff from like RiverCog and?
Oh,
and his
absolutely.
meet?
Yes,
Okay. So
definitely.
those are
That's factual,
That's
that's
factual.
informational.
business.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
But I just want to stay away from the opinion pieces for the obvious reasons of, I don't want to look like I'm biased. I don't look at these uses as political. I'm just looking at it as the use, but I don't want anybody to think that either. So that is that. So I don't have anything else to report for the director's report tonight. We do have those 2 new business items for acceptance schedule.
Okay, well, I can start with, I'll make a motion to accept and schedule application 2, and that is, for an alcoholic beverage license,
It's a special meeting, special permit.
special permit.
Okay, second, please.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
And second,
yes,
do you
bond.
wanna do the bond release right now as part of
Yeah.
the acceptance schedule?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, I wasn't sure where else to put it on the application, or on the
That's fine.
agenda tonight, so.
Sometimes we just have a separate line item as bond release.
Right,
under,
this actually came after we posted the agenda with the clerk, so I didn't
Yep.
want to amend it, and
fine.
I just tried to fit it in under our existing business.
So, staff is okay with the ENS bond being released? It's got full staff approval?
Yes, I did not check it myself, but I have all the trust in the world in Bruce, he's
Yeah,
very
Bruce
experienced,
usually-
and,
Yep.
I did ask him about it, he said it was
Ready to go.
totally fine out there. And he sent me an email to that effect, so
Okay.
they are ready to go.
So I'll make a motion to, release county line, is it county line?
Yes, 70.
Yes.
70 county line bond, ENS bond in the amount of $8,491.73 with any applicable, interest, based on staff recommendation.
Second, please.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you. I did remember to bring the legal notice tonight. It's sitting over there if you'd like to read it off for us.
Town of Cromwell Planning and Zoning Commission legal notice. The Town of Cromwell Planning and Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing during a regular meeting on Tuesday, May 5th, 2026 at 7 p.m. in the Town Council Chambers of Cromwell Town Hall located at 71 West Street on the following. Number 1, application 26-12. Application for a special permit to sell alcoholic beverages per section 4.3.C.3.1.C of the Town of Cromwell zoning regulations at 72 West Street, local business zone. Trivhovian Patel, applicant, Sheikh Ali, owner. At this hearing, interested persons may appear and be heard and written testimony received. The application is available for public inspection in the Office of Planning and Development, Alice Kelly Chair, dated in Cromwell, Connecticut, this Thursday, April 23rd, 2026, and Thursday, April 30th, 2026.
So, I have this email up on the screen and in your packet. Could we open the public hearing? I'm sorry.
Motion to open
Oh,
the
sure,
public.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Thank you. And so, and away we go.
I'll let you guys go from now on.
So, it happens. So I have this email in front of you. It's also part of your packet. It's dated April 27th, 2026, between me and the applicant, and he confirmed that he's withdrawing the application for the public hearing held tonight, May 5th. Just a little bit of background. I do feel it's a shame that the applicant submitted this application. From the get-go, I was very explicit that he would be denied immediately because he did not meet the regulations. And I told him repeatedly, over and over and over, so many ways. I tried everything I could to tell him that he had no chance, and he just would not take no for an answer. You know, I even held on to the check and called him back and gave him one last chance, and I said, "You're throwing away your money. But if that's what you want to do, I am required to take your application." So I just want all the commissioners to know I cannot deny someone the opportunity to submit an application. They have the right to do that. This is America. And the proper forum for us to deny it is here at the public hearing. So we'd either deny it or withdraw it, but we do have to make that official action. So tonight it would be accepting the withdrawal. So I do have to take that application in as much as I would not like to. The fact was he's less than 500 feet away from a church, and that was explained to him, and he submitted the application anyways, and he ultimately withdrew it for that very reason. So I'm sorry that he did that. I did everything within my power to guide him and consult him not to do that, but here we are, and we're gonna withdraw the application because it does not meet the distance requirements to sell alcohol at this location. So
Motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Okay. Okay, a motion to accept the withdrawal?
I will make that motion.
thank you.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Any
so-
opposed? Okay,
So that's done.
that's done. So
The
moving on.
application is withdrawn. Thank you. So
Does he get his
prior,
money back?
no, he does not. No.
He does not.
No,
Oh, shame.
once you submit and we take it, we can't take it back. And,
Yeah.
yeah, so that was the thing. I was holding on to the
Even
check.
on withdrawal.
Did
And-
he try to like
right.
make an argument?
He withdrew a few days later.
Okay.
Did he like say that he was just moving forward and that was it? Did he try to like?
I told him, "You have zero chance. You have zero chance." And he said, "I still have a chance." And I said, "No, you don't." And I said, "There's some things you can go in front of the commission and you can, convince them. You can not argue, but, convince them of something. This is not one of those things. You have zero chance. You will be denied. There's no talking, convincing you guys into it." And so I don't know, for whatever reason, he wouldn't take no for an answer. And that was a shame. So
Too bad.
maybe he learned the hard way. But I'm sorry.
Years ago, when
I
he
did
ran
everything
the
I could.
operation there, it was very, very good. And he also tried back then to get liquor, and he couldn't get, not liquor, but beer and wine.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't get it back then either. Nothing's changed since then.
Yeah,
So
so,
you did the right thing, and that's all there is to it.
yeah,
It's just
if
too
we
bad they can't get
changed
it
our
back.
regulations, or maybe the church moves away and gets redeveloped or something, probably unlikely, but until that happens, he's stuck right next to the church, and he can't sell alcoholic beverages within 500 feet. So that's that. Prior to me making the statement tonight about sharing articles, I did share this article, and really, it's just for informational purposes. There's going to be times that I want to share things with you guys for informational purposes, because I want you guys to be informed commissioners, empowered commissioners that realize this is one of your tools in your toolbox, so to speak. So I just want you to keep that in mind, that a moratorium is a tool that we could potentially use on some use one day. I believe maybe you may have explored it at one time with smoke shops. It's something that if we did go down this road and do this, I would be checking with our town attorney to make sure we're on solid ground with our reasoning. But if you do have a solid reason, a moratorium is something, where we can put that use on hold and explore it as a commission and put rules around it and regulations. So, it may never come up. It could come up 2 or 3 years from now, but I just want you all to realize that's a tool in your toolbox that could be used at some point. So that was my point of doing that. Darien is a ways away from here, almost like another world maybe for some of us. So it's not exactly like Cromwell, but the concept of a moratorium, I just wanted to throw that out there for your knowledge and understanding. I'm not gonna read the article tonight.
No, I read it, but it was very interesting.
Good. So I did put it into this format here. I took out all the ads and everything and made it really clean. So hopefully it was nice and easy to read.
And it was also to do the links. I
Good.
did them on TV, on my computer.
So, getting back to the state housing bill discussion, I don't particularly have anything new from our last report, but I know that we are discussing a particular area for a district outside of the northern tier, which would be the active adult area. And I just wanted to see kind of two things. First, do we want to expand outside of that active adult and include any adjacent areas? Because I think we have a lot more room to work with to reach our maximum 4% on the second district. The second thing would be, do you guys have any new ideas? Did you have anything that you thought about in between meetings? Any new thoughts just about the parking district? And if you don't, that's okay. We are expecting to get our draft zoning regulations that reflect the changes for the 2 to 9 units this month. So we've talked about it before. I think we may have a special meeting sometime this month on short order to look at those draft regulations. That, I think, is really the meat and potatoes of what we're doing. And like our previous discussions, I think everything appears kind of set in stone. I think most people are on agreement on everything except for I think the only thing that's hanging out there is, do we want the business park zone to be light industrial? So that really will dictate whether or not we need to have the parking districts there, because if they go light industrial, there's no reason to have a parking district. So my suggestion would be, when we get the draft zoning regulations, we make a decision on that, and then we look at the parking, in association with that. Because if we do go light industrial, for example, the northern tier and the, I guess the active adult would still be subject to it. But we could take the district number 1, which would be the northern tier, and apply that somewhere else. So a lot of this parking district will be dictated on how we implement our zoning regulations, and specifically the business park zone is the one that's in question. So I'm going to pull up the map, I'll pull up the report, and we can start talking about it.
So I've got a couple of questions,
Okay.
and it may relate to how we handle this. How do the wetlands regulations play into the new housing bill? Does the new housing bill
It doesn't
exempt
eliminate.
itself?
No, not to my understanding. You still have wetlands.
So you still have wetlands, you still have upland review, you still have.
Yeah, even design
permit
review,
rules and so
even
on and so
even the
forth.
design review aspect remains. So the only design review requirement we have in Cromwell is for the downtown zone. They're required to show us something for the facade. That still remains. So all the other things will remain. Historic district, we don't have a local historic district, but if we did, those type of overlays or areas still remain.
So the wetlands regulations and wetlands regulation application can still somewhat mitigate some of the housing bill.
I'm not sure what you mean. I'm sorry.
So if we have a parcel that has dotted wetlands, and the parcel that I'm specifically referring to would be the one behind the former Sunoco station on West Street. It's got Route 9 to the west, it's got the gas station, I think it's a Gulf now,
Mm-hmm. Maybe Sunoco.
and that parcel is peppered with small pockets of wetlands. And And that was another parcel that I was thinking about for the 4%, but if the wetlands kicks in, then it's not.
Then it's, right, it's not really
it's not a-
feasible to
It's not
develop.
worth using the 4% on, that was my
Gotcha,
point.
good point.
Same with the northern tier though as well, it's peppered with wetlands as well.
Well, northern tier could be safe if we go the light industrial route and we use the correct definition of light industrial, so we're not shooting ourselves in the foot.
Right.
So here's the northern tier, this area here, and it does have some wetlands there.
Not much though.
Yeah, and then of course that,
Right, and that was the.
right, that's why I point that out.
Is that the vernal pool?
Yeah.
I think there might be a small zone A
Anticipated
up in the
as a
north,
vernal
that's
pool
not really gonna
Because of the pollywog?
hinder any development.
No, I think they actually had, soil scientists and
No, I-
wetlands people out there, and it was missed by the Wayfair or the warehouse people. They either missed it or ignored it, take your pick. But they did it to themselves.
So there are some wetlands there, but I do think it could be mostly developed,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's the same idea as the parcel that Mike's talking about too, is that's a developable piece, but there's also wetlands like towards the highway, but then as you go up the hill.
Up the hill, there were a bunch of different, pockets
On the hill?
on the hill.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. It's a very strange piece of property. It's got a massive sandbank on one side.
Yeah.
And there's like weeps coming out of the hill in the wet season.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Probably a spring up there. I have weeps coming out of my land.
There might be springs up there.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
should see it.
I'm very familiar with it, cause as a kid, we used to hunt in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, comes
So-
over the sidewalk.
Huh?
Yeah, in the spring when it rains,
Yeah,
coming down on the side that now is part of the active adult,
Yeah.
it's all wet. You can just see it on the top. It was right over the sidewalk.
so that was one question I had, whether or not the wetlands regs.
Yeah, I
kick
think
in.
they do, and so that may kind of hinder development in addition to,
Right.
yeah,
The
right.
other question I had was the building officials book, CABO, and there's the other one, I can't think of the, but the bottom line is, on 3-story buildings, when you go from 2-story to 3-story, a whole different set of rules kicks in. You're talking self-closing fire doors, you're talking alarm systems, you're talking, depending on intensity, sprinkler systems, I mean.
That's a great point. Yeah,
So-
we haven't talked about that really.
So how much, are his rules negated, or do his rules still?
Not that I know of. I actually think that I'm gonna ask him if he could give us just a little, something to explain what his rules are going from 2 to 3 families, so we can understand the implications of, because it could be prohibitive to contractors to, construct depending on what level of building code they need to go to.
That's what happened on Main Street.
Can we clarify though, are we talking about 3 stories or 3 family?
Anything over 3 stories, or does 3 family kick in?
I'm not exactly sure,
his-
but I'll
to
get an
his
answer.
right-
Family is a different building code.
It is?
The residential code is 1 and 2 family.
Okay, so
And the commercial code is 3 family.
3 family plus.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, but I didn't
It
wanna,
doesn't necessarily have to be 3-story.
No, just 3 units.
Okay.
Separate dwelling units, yeah.
So I think if we can get, John to,
yeah,
give us some clarification as to how far their regulations go in terms of whether or not, they help us with
Right.
regard to the housing bill, and they hinder the developer that wants to ram stuff down our throat.
it's a good point.
Hate to
I
put
can
it
say
that way, but that's what, that's the reality of it.
No building, whether public or private, is exempt from the building code, I can tell you that.
Okay. But the housing bill has made a lot of buildings exempt from the parking code
Right.
and
From site development standards.
from site development standards, so So
But
John,
not public safety as far as, you know, and accessibility type stuff.
right, but
Right.
John Egan has a whole set of rules that apply to handicap parking.
Right.
And does the housing bill throw those
Oh,
handicap?
that's a great point
Yeah,
about housing or handicap requirement. I'm gonna ask our,
Yeah,
It's
I
like
mean-
one space per 200, or one handicap per 200.
that's an excellent, I didn't
And
think of
he's
that.
also got the van
And the
parking,
minimum.
the minimum width for a van, you gotta
Right.
provide for at least one van. And-
Yeah,
And so,
And that is in the building.
So-
code,
yeah.
so how does that affect, the parking requirements, where they're saying on-street parking is fine?
Great point. Great point. I'll look into that and give you some information about it. Just so everyone here knows, the handicap parking requirement is actually not in the zoning regulations. It's driven by the building code.
Right, right.
Yeah, in case you didn't know.
But is that building code helpful to us?
It appears
in
it
our
would be,
approval
yeah.
code? Because everything that gets approved has to go to him for comments, and his comments are consistently highlighting the handicap requirements.
Right, right. Yeah, those are two important points. I think, you know, if they have to, like you said, go to another building code for a three-family, it may be too expensive for a developer.
Right.
And maybe that will kind of hold the line, so to speak, so that contractors aren't going wild out there.
It could.
Right.
It could, provided it applies. But if
Right.
the housing bill, something in the housing bill says, guess what, no, then that may be something that John Egan needs to,
Yeah.
bone up on.
So maybe we'll see a lot of adding one additional unit where you don't meet the three-family, but this new zoning regulation allows 2 to 9 units by right. So you could get a second unit without triggering the building code,
Right.
and you could still do it by summary review.
But what about the thing that everybody is for people with handicap? You know, the American handicap.
Oh.
Where, how does that fit in, that you can then say, we don't have to provide parking for handicapped people? You have to take your wheelchair, your crutches or whatever else and try and find parking out on the road.
Yeah, I think there's
I mean, I just,
Yeah.
something that John Egan needs to
Right.
educate us on.
So
Right.
our zoning enforcement officer can do an ADA accommodation, which is it's basically giving an accommodation. They have the authority to do this. It's like giving a reasonable accommodation for someone who's handicapped in whatever type of way. It could be like a ramp or something a little bit extra. And really, I support that because people who are handicapped are already at a unlevel, they're at a
Already at a
disadvantage.
disadvantage.
You're just leveling the playing field for them. And so I love that. I don't know that we've used it here, but case law supports it, and ADA law supports it, and I support it, you know. And I just want you to know that there is that provision for our zoning officer to help with ADA accommodations.
But can the zoning officer's ADA accommodations overrule the building official's ADA requirements? And there's another question for John Egan.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It might depend on the scenario.
And I have no idea.
but I think we need to be really more aware, and I'm speaking as someone who had a handicapped son who's passed away. And I feel that we were never really aware when, like, ShopRite went in. You take a look at where the handicapped people have to walk to try and get a carriage, or how they have to get up to the store. I mean, I'm you know, after James got to be handicapped, I became really aware of how little that he could climb up without falling. And even when they were with the house going off of Hicksville Road down that, and I couldn't believe when they said well, we can get out the shovels to shovel the snow. And I said, well, if you have an ambulance, do you have enough room going down this steep thing to turn an ambulance around? How are you gonna plow it? I said, because my son almost died at home because they had to be there in seconds, and they were, and he lived. So, because of what I had in my house, I really became aware of when people have difficulties, whether or not it's through breathing and things like that, and we really are not looking at that lots of times. No pun on anybody, but I think that when we are talking about commercial buildings as well as apartments and things like that, we have to begin to look at how the sidewalks are coming, where they're gonna be able to get a wheelchair up and things like this, is there enough room? And I think that that's in our planning hat.
Yeah,
I
but
completely agree.
Should we be looking at that?
Yeah,
Or
I
should
completely
Bruce
agree.
and John be
And,
looking
and
at it?
I look at that specifically.
Right. Okay.
I agree with you, and when I'm looking at these plans, I think about people who are handicapped specifically. And I made important accommodations on the 100 Berlin Road plan. I made them revise that for ADA
No, good,
reasons
but I
in a
think
couple
that we
areas. They
also
were very
should be
important.
kind of, when we're looking at the plans, also to be
So we need to be more mindful of.
mindful that
Absolutely.
Handicap accessibility
Right.
options.
And I'm
available.
looking at it from a staff perspective, but I might not think of everything. And if you guys look at plans, keep that kind of
Yeah.
Okay.
thing in mind. Think about if you were handicapped and
Right.
how would you need to use the space.
Yeah, I mean,
And so if you see something, bring it up, and
Yeah.
it's fair game. And
That's
I'll
what I
do my
mean,
best
just-
to
right.
cover it, and I could use your guys' help too.
Okay.
Thank you.
and Andrew, I think you were talking about for this, new thing, the 320 acres, you talked about enlarging it. Do you have any areas that you were looking at that we had not even talked about? Were you looking at like over at the golf course and things like that?
Potentially, yeah. I think if this isn't light industrial, this is a vacant piece of property that could still be developed someday down the line. It may not be immediately, but the other thing is there's not a whole lot of areas that jump out to me about Cromwell needing this. We have a lot of land most of our land is developed. The remaining land, a lot of its wetlands are floodplain. I feel there's very few areas, so it kind of makes our job a little easier, in my opinion. I think we've got a couple of options here, but beyond that, beyond the things we've discussed, if you guys can't think of anything out there in town,
It's
Then I
mostly
think-
West Cromwell.
then I think it's really, not
Yeah.
that obvious. We
I think that one that you just had up, that kind of the downtown north, that Asia grocer and the field beside it is probably a spot that could possibly be developed.
is this the field here, or no?
It's
Or is
in
that
the
too far
local
down?
business zone. Yeah, right
Where he's
there.
planting
Okay.
vegetables now?
Yeah, where-
So maybe we can take this up, I don't know, all the way through to the active adult like you were talking to
Like
about,
follow
or,
Main Street, like just a
yeah.
sliver of it.
And I don't know if maybe we can get that in there too, and then that could be another zone. I could have them explore that. But I think that's reasonable. Like I said, that we only have a couple of options. I think it's probably this area, the northern tier, the highway business zone on the west side of town, which is mostly developed or floodplain, wetlands, and downtown, which is pretty small, and I don't know that a lot of people feel that's necessary.
Is it worth
So.
looking at the entire Asia Grocers site? They have a huge parking lot.
And behind it.
They have behind it drops
It
off
does
like
drop
a
off.
cliff.
But the property's big behind, it's back, it goes back quite a ways.
It goes back almost, I think, halfway to,
Shadow Lane?
Yeah,
Shadow Lane.
it's- Yeah,
But everything behind the building is pretty much unusable.
right.
Yeah,
It
that's-
drops off.
It drops off fast. And there's a pile of wetlands back there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But if that plaza ever went out, I mean, you could cram a lot of apartments in.
Right.
Well,
So
it's not
if-
just the plaza, it's to the left, to the north of Asia Grocers is a concrete pad site that used to be another store. Many years ago, that used to be,
bowling alley?
no, it was a bowling alley for a while, and then after it was a bowling alley, it was, you would remember, Town, it was like a discount,
Yes.
like a little mini Walmart.
Right,
or a mini Kmart kind of thing. It burned, but the pad site is still there, the concrete slab is still there. So, my point is that the parking lot is way bigger than it needs to be. And the parking lot, I think, was originally based on the size necessary.
This is it, right?
For the concrete slab, right.
Yeah.
So that building used to go all the way to the northern property line.
So if they redevelop this site and they go beyond 16 units, 16 units, I'm losing my mind here. I'm trying to think. Sometimes these new rules are, I don't know.
And those are two, on the zoning map, those are two different sites, the field, the agricultural field and then the plaza.
The agricultural field used to be, owned by Northeast Utilities. And it was part of a contiguous right-of-way all the way from Berlin
Yeah.
to Portland, believe it or not.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, if you go on the old
That's
maps, you
huge.
can see it, it goes across Shadow Lane, near Gaffney's Pond.
Yeah.
It goes across Field Road, across the park, and it lines up across the river. I mean, and it also goes, if you go to the west direction, it goes all the way to Court Street. You know where Brian Bonneau lives?
Yeah.
Okay, so it goes behind Brian Bonneau's house, all the way to Shumpike, and then it used to cut across Shumpike
So
and
that's
up
why
over
it's-
Water Tower Hill.
That's why it's shaped that way, and that's what, you can,
Yeah.
that's why that field is.
Yeah,
still
you have to,
intact. It's
you have to
still
go to the old maps that still show it as a contiguous right of way. Now, the story I heard is that Eversource has sold portions of it off because it's too narrow to develop as a high-tension wire line. I don't know, who owns that piece now? Is it still Eversource or is it Asia Grocer?
Benita Properties, LLC, Usif Plaza,
Okay, so
Plazi?
he bought it
And
from
then that
Eversource.
field to the south,
Yes.
it's the same.
Probably the same.
Yes, same owner, yeah.
Okay, so he bought it from Eversource.
Right. So he's got a frontage and access here for this property and same here. So if he came in and developed this larger property, he would have to do 16 units or less to have no parking. If he goes above that, we can start requiring the 1 and 2 parking.
Okay.
Yeah. So he'd have to break this up, and I don't know how he would do it because he needs frontage for each lot that they would split.
Right.
So I think he's a little bit limited, if you're trying to take advantage of the no parking rule. It can really only work in kind of smaller situations.
Yeah, I just
But,
know that
you
it's
know.
a large chunk of property, especially with the Eversource property.
But yeah, these may be good candidates for the district because they're vacant. They look like they could be redeveloped, and
Yeah.
there's not a lot of
Even across the street too.
that property in Cromwell.
Decent field there too.
Yeah, that was
Where
also
Dollar
part of
General
that.
is, yeah.
To the south of Dollar General,
We-
there's that swath
Right.
that was part of the old Eversource or Northeast Utilities contiguous
So
right
that
of
is
way.
still owned by CLMP.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting.
I believe this property is protected, right, with the barn? So I don't know that we would
That's the
need
active
to.
adult, right?
Yeah.
It's the active.
That's active adult.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it not protected though? No.
Not that I'm
Okay.
aware of.
Okay. I thought I
Protected
heard that. Like open space in some way.
Development rights or agricultural deed restricted kind of thing? I don't believe
I
it
thought it
is.
was some type of protected open space, but I'll have to look into that because
You have
if
to
it is
look at what-
protected, we
what
wouldn't need
the-
to.
Active adult requires.
I don't
Because I know,
believe it's protected.
no, but I know that up off of Willowbrook, they had to have some open space up there when they developed that.
Yeah, but that's when they come in with a development
that's-
proposal.
Right,
Right now, this is just open land.
Right, but no, well, no, because it was also zoned active adult. So that zone itself when you take a look at what you read about it, it's how you can develop it, but I think in there, you have to have some open space.
You do, I agree with you, but it doesn't rise to that level of regulation until they come in with a proposal on the whole piece.
Right, oh, I
So-
understand
so
what you mean, but
You
it's,
can't say that the area around the barn is already protected,
oh,
nothing
No.
is protected, but a portion of it needs to be open space.
That's right.
With the application of active
right,
adult.
but there is a caveat
Yes,
With-
I agree,
with the zone.
I agree.
So whether or not you're gonna have it over there or over here, there is a caveat that you have to meet,
But the short answer is the whole piece is not deed restricted.
right? No, not deed
It may
restricted.
Okay,
be, a
okay.
portion may be protected because of the active adult zone regulations
Okay,
requiring a certain amount of open space.
And
Okay.
that also could be in the, active adult, that it's their open space. It is in town.
Right, right.
private, I
Right.
guess private, yeah,
open space, it doesn't have to be turned over to the town.
right, okay. Well, those seem like good candidates. I could have our consultant draw up a little draft for this scenario, or we could wait for the draft regulations to come and then come back to this. Anybody have any thoughts, or?
Whatever,
Whatever.
We're supposed to be getting those this month.
Yes, yeah,
So we're gonna be I think we should wait, but at the same time, then we're gonna be under the gun until.
And I don't wanna-
Until everything takes effect July first.
yeah, and I don't wanna rush your decision.
Which you almost have to think you have to assume that worst case scenario that somebody's ready to go July first. So.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything for the record, nobody's asking
probably
me
sta-
about,
they're
hey,
probably staying underground.
nobody's asked me how they can develop something under the new
Well,
regs.
the reason being is they know it's controversial.
Right.
They know it's controversial, so they're saying is, mum's the
We
word.
can
Yeah.
get away with it until we get, they
If
can
I
get
were a
away with it.
developer coming in with one of
Right.
these applications, everybody I would talk to would sign a non-disclosure agreement, number one, and number two, it would be strictly engineer, keep your mouth shut. And on day one, you walk in with the application, lay it on the table,
Right.
and say, here I am.
Have it all prepared and
Have it
ready
all
to go.
prepared and ready to fire.
Yep,
Because they know, all the developers know, that this is not a well-received bill.
Oh,
It's out there. So it doesn't make sense to paint a target on your back
Right.
before you need to.
yep,
yeah, so as soon as I get that, I'll let everybody know, we are planning on scheduling a special meeting. I mean, I'll try and give a couple days' notice, or, I don't know, as much as I can.
Yeah.
I wanna make sure people can make the meeting, so I may do a poll, cause I don't wanna set up a date and then nobody can make it, so, if you can be responsive with your email on that, we may call you, if you could just get back to me and send me a yes or no email or some
the
dates,
minute
whatever.
you get the email, plug it in and send it back to him right away. Because especially, the window is very narrow.
I think we're talking to the wrong people.
I know, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
No,
The
no,
people
no,
that
no,
come
I
to
know
every
that.
meeting, yeah,
No,
they-
you people are here all the time. So,
Jennifer-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we have the quorum, so,
Has Jennifer ever considered doing a group text as well?
I don't think so, and, I blind copy everyone, so we don't start a discussion that
Right.
could be
yeah, you have to be
FOIable.
careful.
The only reason I
'cause
mention
that's a
text
meeting.
is, on a personal level,
Yeah,
I check emails maybe a couple, 3 times a day.
mm-hmm,
Just because if I'm looking for something, I wanna know it's out there. But there's so much crap email that comes
yeah.
that I don't have the notification on my phone so that it buzzes or rings.
You should put a little star next to my name, so,
No, you know what?
so I'm like your favorite.
You know what, you give him a special ring on your phone.
But no,
If a cow
we
moves,
could probably
there is a-
accommodate that for you.
There is a text notification that you can do where we can't respond to it. Where if you wanna send out a group.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying? We do that, Steve.
but then
does
you'd
it
have to
here,
call
Steve.
me.
Right.
So we could, I don't know how to do it because I'm not the one who does it, but you can send out a group text that nobody can respond to.
Yeah,
Dan's
my
no.
point is
If
that
you wanna send out
IT
the
person.
notification.
my text notification goes off all the time, but I don't get a lot of crap texts, so that whenever I do hear a text notification, I check it immediately.
So we could do that for like informational, but I couldn't say, hey guys, how about this date? Cause you wouldn't be able to respond to me. So it would
Yeah, you
only
could,
be
because
something
then they would
that's
have
to.
non-respondable, but, we'll make a special exception for you, Mike. We'll send you a text.
I do check, and
Yeah.
I've been pretty good about getting Jennifer's emails within like a couple hours of her sending them. So I do
I'm sure
check.
you'll get it. We'll call you guys
We'll
if we
figure it
have to,
out.
cause it's a special meeting. It's an important one. And
Yeah.
it's
And I-
really our,
If
our
it
biggest
becomes
one
a
in a
panic
while.
situation, we can use the old-fashioned call.
Yeah, yeah. I
Call
have
and
no
answer.
problem with that. I do
And I know
just pick
that
up the
thing
phone
has
on
come up
occasion.
about the business park going into light industrial. I've tried to find what light industrial means as far as what can go into light industrial as compared to industrial. I've not been able to find it. I tried looking at different things because everyone has a
Well,
thing.
it's gonna mean whatever
So we'll see.
definition we put on it.
Yeah.
Well, right.
It'll be our own
Okay, so
definition.
you said we should have a thing. I'm saying is, what do you think should go into quote-unquote light industrial?
Everything that's in business park,
I agree.
period.
Oh,
We're changing the, we're
'Cause
changing
it is a
the
lighter,
label
cleaner-
to satisfy and plug a hole in a regulation that's been handed to us that we're not happy with.
and that,
And they've given us the
and you can do
label
that?
that we have to put on it.
That can be done?
Yeah, that's what we're exploring. And,
Oh, okay.
we'll have to come to a consensus as a group. And we may not want to do it on the very night that we get the report. We might want to sit on it and
No,
think
but
about
that's
it.
why I've been just very concerned about light industrial.
Yeah, no, I don't wanna adopt a definition that is gonna shoot us in the foot.
And I believe that the consultant is drafting light industrial
Oh, okay.
almost exactly like our business
Oh,
park.
okay. All right.
But we'll analyze that,
Yeah.
when it
As long
comes
as
out.
light industrial can be co-opted into something else that,
Right.
that we're not thinking of.
And we're all looking at that. We're gonna make that decision as a group.
Right,
If we
I'm-
don't like it, then, we won't do it.
may
Or
not
if we
wanna
wanna
use the word
modify it,
light.
we'll do that.
He may wanna use industrial A and industrial B.
Well, Rocky
That's-
Hill has that.
And
Yeah.
you may have to do that in order to not have,
That's kind of what we're doing, basically. Industrial now is true industrial.
Right.
And business park is really just, light industrial is another term for business park, in a way.
I hope so.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'll leave it up to
Right.
the
You
people
know.
that are smarter than me,
Yeah.
which definition.
In
which label
Cromwell's
they wanna
case,
put
I
on
could
it.
say that you could come up with a whole industrial, light industrial, and kind of split them into lower and higher intensity.
Yep.
But it's whatever we want it to be.
Okay,
So, yeah,
Okay,
rely on you, okay.
thank you.
So, let's see. Minutes,
minutes, we can approve the minutes, we have the right people.
right.
And does anyone have any changes to the minutes?
No,
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented, and those are the minutes of April 21st.
okay. Second on that, please? All in favor?
Aye? And that, is Alice, myself, Andrew,
Yep.
Ann, and John.
Right.
And that's it.
That's it.
Commissioners' comments?
No,
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, everyone. Our next meeting is May 19th.
And if you haven't voted for the budget, you can take a flying leap over there and vote.
Better get running.